Hi YouTube, this is Wingman, and today we're going to be talking about small game hunting gear. Lately I've been getting a lot of questions about what I bring when I go out small game hunting for rabbits and ground squirrels. So I thought I'd grab my camera. I had time today, so I loaded up my table here in the backyard, and we'll go item by item what I bring when I go out in the field. So we'll cut away and we'll get right to it.
Okay, first off, let's start with your weapon. Now, I'm a powder burner, but I also love air guns, and I love hunting with air guns. So what I choose when I go out in the field for ground squirrels and for rabbits is the Benjamin Discovery in the .22 caliber. This is a pre-charged pneumatic. I have a 4x16 scope on there. And this is a very solid, fun shooter to take out hunting. I've used this in the field now for about a year and a half, and it just works great. It comes with a pump, the one I purchased did anyway, and as you can see it has a gauge on there, right? And you pump this up to 2,000 psi, and you get roughly about 30 to 35 good hard-hitting shots. The feet per second are around 900 feet per second. That's more than enough for any rabbit, any ground squirrel, even crows. And this is a fun little shooter. And this is one of the items that I put in my kit that I take along with me. Another item that I find is I usually bring a thermometer, and people ask you, why do you bring a thermometer? Well, I shoot a lot of CO2 air guns, and anybody who shoots CO2 will tell you that once the temperature drops, usually about 65 degrees, you start losing velocity in your air gun. So I look at my temperature gauge, and if I see that it's starting to get cold out, I usually change to a different air gun. This is just something, you can keep track of the humidity, keep track of the weather, what's going on. A cheap little Walmart item that I purchased. Now, another thing that I bring is camo gear. Here I have gloves that I bought at an Army Navy store, like $2. Okay. A balaclava, I wear that. You'd be surprised. Ground squirrels have really good sight, and they see things in motion. I mean, they're gone. There's a basic shirt I wear, and I have a lot of different camo, because here in SoCal, it's such a diverse terrain, between coastal, mountain, and desert. It can change pretty fast. Now, I bring leather gloves as well because, I hunt and shoot ground squirrels. And a lot of them out here have fleas that carry the bubonic plague. And the last thing that I want is to get sick from flea bites from these ground squirrels. So I use leather gloves just as a precaution. Just something to think about to put in your kit. Now, let's go over to the next part of the camo. This I bought at the Army Navy store, and it's basically a sniper blind. And this thing works great. There's a lot of times where I'm trying to seek cover and it's hard to find any. So what I'll do is I'll attach this maybe to some tree limbs, or I'll even drape it over myself, and it just breaks that silhouette of me out there in the woods, and it works really great. I like it. It was about $8 for I think it was a 5x9 piece, and I bought 2 of them. I keep one in my kit all the time. Now, basic thing, first aid kit, we don't have to go line item by that, but everybody should be carrying a first aid kit when they go out in the bush. Obviously pellets. This is my pellet pouch that I take, as you can see. And you know what, this is also great. I go out with 22 rimfire, and you put 22 rimfire pellets in there, you can get it at Walmart, like $8. Another good item, hey, bug repellent. How many times you've gone out there and the flies and insects are just eating you up? Another Walmart item. I keep this in my kit, 24/7. It's just something that I always bring. Now, here's something I carry for small game. It's a knife that my dad gave me when I was a young guy growing up in northern Maine. I keep it along with me, one for nostalgia reasons, and two, it's just a great little skinning knife. It's just an old school charade old timer, and they don't make them like that anymore. I've gutted a few deer with that up in northern Maine, and I can tell you it works. Now, another item I always carry is a fire steel. You just never know when something's going to happen and you get an emergency situation and you need to make a fire. I also bought one of these whistles. It's a storm whistle, and my wife will attest to it. This thing is loud, and one reason I bought it, you can also use this underwater. Say you're in a boat and the boat capsizes, you know, it can be heard at least a mile. This thing is just ear-piercing loud, and it's only, you know, $7 or $8 put in your kit. They also make it in black as well. Here is a Bushnell Rangefinder, and this is the, let's see, you know, the Yardage Pro Sport 450. You know, this is by no means their top of the line rangefinder, but hey, for small game, it works really great. It'll work, I believe, up to like 900 yards. You know, but for what I'm doing with air guns and 22s, you know, it's a good item to have in my kit, you know, to know, you know, within a yard or so, you know, what the range is on a rabbit or a squirrel, especially when you're shooting air guns, where the difference of a few yards could change your point of impact. And that leads me up to, I made a range card. So a lot of guys will call this their dope. Anybody who's used a range card before, and I had an old Marine Corps sniper who taught me how to use this, and there's plenty of programs on the internet to make range cards with. So what I have is a center point mil-dot scope on here, and with this range card, you know, and my little laser rangefinder, you know, I can pretty much, you know, within reason, depending on the wind, crosswinds, you know, be pretty darn accurate with these pellet rifles. Now, for spotting, you know, I don't want to be out there waving a gun around, freaking people out a lot of times, you know, because you never know who you're going to see out in the woods. You know, I carry a little set of binoculars, and it's just a set that I've had for many a year, but you know, they work really great, and they're good. Just keep around your neck, and to be glass in the field, you know, if you see movement. Just another item to keep in your kit. And of course, it's always good to have a map. I have a Silva Ranger compass, and I also have a GPS. Now, what I like about that GPS unit is I'm out there and I'm scouting out areas, and I get home, it's nice to know, one, where I've been, and two, say I find a, you know, a special spot that I want to check out again, or, you know, be able to talk to friends about. I can do a waypoint on there, come back home, use Google Earth, and then I know exactly where I'm at, you know. So that works really good. Now, I put all this stuff, I'll show you real quick, into, I have a Camelback Ranger backpack, and it's a 100-ounce bladder that goes in there. I don't keep it in there all the time, just, you know, so I can keep it clean. But all my gear that's on this table goes in that backpack, and I'm able to put my snacks, my water, and yes, my hunting license is in here somewhere, you know, that I can use. Here it is right here, so I can show everybody my hunting license. So this is what I carry when I go out doing small game hunting here in Southern California. And I'd like to have your thoughts on what you carry in your kit, whether you're an air gun enthusiast or a rimfire shooter or just a straight center fire or shotgun user. I'd like to see, you know, response videos of what you keep in your kit. This is Wingman on Veterans Day. You folks have a nice day.